is the Magnate.
Hello, you're welcome to this week's edition of the Magnate. The Magnate is a program that raises professionals from diverse backgrounds. We call it mentoring on television. You call it lending a voice to the growth of business. Today we are going to be parading, I call it a legal luminary, but sit atop organization where he's using his profession to add value to a multitude of Nigerians. Who are we talking about? Those have spoken. Let's get his citation. When we come back, we'll look at the broadcast ecosystem. We'll be back shortly.
Charles Ebu is a highly accomplished legal practitioner with over 2 decades of expertise specializing in intellectual property, IP, and corporate law. Renowned as a seasoned general counsel and senior level corporate executive, Charles possesses a wealth of experience in reducing legal expenses by being adept with the regulatory and risk management strategies. His profound understanding of global markets, coupled with a unique fusion of intellectual property proficiency, international business acumen, and transactional legal skills, distinguishes him in the industry. Charles has left an indelible mark with his notable achievement in IP litigation and enforcement, spearheading digital switchover projects, and contributing significantly to the media and entertainment sectors. His adeptness in navigating legal intricacies and ensuring favorable project outcomes underscores his resourcefulness, complemented by his robust regulatory and corporate relationships, showcasing his prowess in government affairs and public-private sector liaison. As a trusted advisor and visionary strategist, Charles Ebu has consistently provided invaluable business-oriented counsel across diverse domains, including regulatory affairs, government relations, e-commerce, sport, media, and entertainment. His illustrious career is characterized by a proven track record of resolving intricate legal matters, championing policy reforms, and fostering strategic agreement. The wholesome, exceptional communication prowess of Barrister Charles Ebu, his client-centric approach, and adept relationship management skills have earned him widespread acclaim in the legal and corporate spheres. His pivotal role in expanding content portfolios, forging strategic alliances, and ensuring unwavering regulatory compliance further cements his status as a preeminent figure in the legal and corporate landscape, embodying unparalleled excellence and expertise. With his wealth of experience in the legal and broadcast space, he was appointed as the Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission in 2023.
You're welcome back. It's the Magnate, and you've seen the citation of our guests of the week. It's a great pleasure to welcome to the Magnate Mr. Charles Ebu. He is the Director General of National Broadcasting Commission. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
In a very simple language, what's the role of NBC to the generality of Nigerians, particularly when you consider the broadcast ecosystem?
Okay, I would use two phrases used in our act, which basically says the NBC is there to manage and control broadcasting in Nigeria. Now, I would also use 2 words to define that. We are both an enabler and a facilitator. A third, as well as a watchdog. Okay. I will go to the watchdog later because I know that's, But, our job is to basically enable a highly competitive, sustainable media industry.
Good.
And that is a focus we have. And what does that mean in simple terms? We're always looking at the industry, looking at the challenges. I would always, if I take a benchmark, I would look at what Afrobeat has done. I would look at what Nollywood has done. And then when it comes to television, why are we having a lull there? Where is there some kind of, constraints? Mm-hmm. And so, with even engagements and programs the NBC, have with stakeholders, we are defining what the challenges are. So our goal is to enable, the industry to grow, to get to the global standards it should be, as mirrored by other, products we have and culture we have exported. Then to facilitate, we also recognize the fact that media consumption patterns are changing, and massively content viewership is going online, whether you talk about kiddies program, adults, and what have you, music. And so with that change comes a lot of difference. For example, you find out that advertising revenue is also moving from the free to air and subscription based states to online, which also affects the industry where you had taken for granted there will be revenue. Now it is going somewhere. The indices have changed. So we, as facilitators, what we'll do is bring education and capacity building to the industry, try to bring stakeholders to the same room. Let's have a conversation to know what the changes are and what needs to change in the industry. So the MBC is doing that, as well as being a watchdog to preserve culture, to be able to keep the narrative exactly, moderate conversations and all of that. That's what we do.
Interesting.
Yes.
Beyond sanction, which is what most people know you for, they say, oh, there are a lot of stations and you keep licensing. Tell us, what's the criteria for licensing a radio or television station?
Okay, there are legal criteria. For example, you need to be registered with the under the Companies and Allied Matters Act. You need to have broadcasting. You need to have defined directors with terms they must meet, and of course it goes through a process in the MBC where it is vetted. It is sent to the president when it has to do with a DTT license and all of that, the criteria. But like I said, a lot of things has changed when the act was put in place. A lot of media patterns have changed all to today. So what that means in simple terms is that we have to go back and review that policy. It has almost become as if it's a one come on, get a license. But no, if we are to have a sustainable industry, for example, I will tell you something. The definition of broadcast has changed. I will give you a definition. Back then you have platforms where you had a scheduler who prepares line up for the whole day, and that's what used to rule our life. But right now people go online and watch what they want to watch, when they want to watch it, how they want to watch it. If it's on one platform, it's TikTok, YouTube, they switch so it has changed. So even looking at what I just described, the definition of a broadcaster has changed massively. There are some middlemen in the system, as it used to be, that are no longer available there anymore. So we're redefining all of that. Even the existing license structure, we are reviewing all of that, and the criteria is going to change, and it is going to be for those who are ready to do the business, who are ready to grow the business. I think we also need to redefine roles, right? Previously, the content producer in some cases was also merged with the distributor or the platform owner. I think it needs to be segmented so that people concentrate on what they need to do and give it their best. So if you need to bring investors into the room, if you need to bring distributors, if you have to bring platforms that will monetize those content, every role is clearly cut out. So when as a content creator you go out there, you know what you need to do.
Interesting. You talked about different criteria. I didn't hear you talk about capacity building, because everybody now being a content creator, vis-a-vis reforms.
Yes.
When you have barrage of stations, are you thinking of some form of reform, maybe mergers, acquisition? Because what we hear is that politicians are the ones that get all these licenses. They just let people front for them. What's your take on this?
Well, the first thing I will talk about the market. So when you talk about mergers and all that, with the reforms we are going to bring into place, you would see some people would have no choice but either to merge or go out of business. It's as clear as that. We're going to tighten the policies. We're going to make it very stringent, so much so that it's either you're into the business of the media in one sector or the other, or you're out of it. It's no longer going to be something where you come, you get a license, and you warehouse it for a period, or it's not going to exist. There are certain things that would come into place, so much so that when you do not do the business, you do not get a license anymore. Now also we're going to encourage people to merge together, and then that's where we'll come to capacity building. You see, there's still a lot of stakeholders in the industry that does not understand why they need to connect. I'll give you the scenario. A financier, for example, and is talking to a content provider, or it's the other way around. And the content provider, for example, does not understand the indices or the benchmarks he needs to put in place to be able to satisfy the financer or the investor. And so you don't get funding to be able to scale up and go global. We need to bring education as to what is required, what do you need to do, what is sustainable, you know. So we're going to also bring that media consumption patterns and changing, new monetization schemes, how you can exploit. Some people don't even know the rights they have. They sign a document that just gives everything away. And you know, for us as a country, that doesn't help us, because you see, if you give everything away and most of your rights are exploited outside the country, there's no revenue that comes back to you, and by extension the country doesn't get anything. So we need to protect GDP rights. There are guilds that need to be set up, there are associations that need to be re-educated as
sectoral bodies,
exactly how they need to protect, you know, the industry or their sectors, you know. So MBC is going to be doing a lot. We're going to be pushing a lot of knowledge. We're going to bring established entities. We're going to bring utilize our position as regulators, even our position to bring partners that will come in and do a lot of re-education. You're going to be seeing a lot of that going forward. Yes.
The program is the Magnate, and you're hearing it hot from the Director General of National Broadcasting Commission. He is Mr. Charles Ibuebu. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at your pets program, your baby, in the DSO.
Lending a voice to business growth.
It's a program that parades corporate players, eminent veterans, industrialists, professionals from diverse faiths.
Is the Magnate.
If you are entrepreneurial in nature, you are not just comfortable in any one stream of income. So you want to have multiple streams of income.
Be bold without being aggressive. I keep telling people, women don't want to be men.
Tenacity, you know, that you need to persevere and just keep at it.
Interest rate on microloan is high because it's expensive to deliver microloans.
We call it mentoring on television. You call it lending a voice to business growth.
But if you do work hard and you believe in yourself and you better yourself, the sky is the limit.
Don't dabble into a business in which you have no knowledge.
Once you are able to prove that you have the critical mass, paying attention to what you have online, advertisers naturally will come to you.
Those that are poor, when you look at their need, it's just too small. They do not need more than 2.5% of the total wealth.
So what we've started is the process of digitalizing our operation. We are building a robust website.
We have been paying lip service to diversification.
The Magnate, showing every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on NTA2 Channel 5.
This is a platform where you can reach your audience. Partner with us. Remember to also follow us on our social media handles.
Is the Magnate.
The program is the Magnate, and it's a great pleasure hosting the Director General of National Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Charles Ibuebu. Now DSO, Mr. DG.
Yes, please.
There has been a lull. You know, we had a very flamboyant, fantastic launch here in Lagos. In fact, I bought 2 decoders. You understand? What has been happening? Give us this an opportunity to enlighten Nigerians.
Okay.
What's in the offing?
Okay. First, as you very well know, there were challenges, right? The DSO started out, we have launched about 8 states, you know, and transmission is on as we speak from 20 to 24 channels. It depends on where you are in those states. But it hasn't grown beyond that because there are a lot of challenges which I would not waste time, you know. Now, what has happened is that because of that limitation, the NBC had to go back to re-strategize, and we have come out with a new strategy, and I'll try to run through it quickly. The states we have launched so far are here to stay, and we will support it. But then we're also going by way of satellite to cover the entire country all at once. So you will not be seeing us go from state to state.
Okay.
We're going to set up
centralized.
Oh, definitely. We're setting up or scaling up the call center to become a national call center. We're also going to have publicity and marketing that speaks about everything DSO, so much so that the woman on the street or even the market woman will tell you what DSO means.
Yes.
We're going to be bombarding Nigerians with information, the benefits to the government, to the country, to the creatives, to every stakeholder in the ecosystem. That is going to go out. We're also going to create 10 very strategic channels from kids, a channel that talks about everything good from Nigeria from inception. You know, long before independence, everything good, every formidable thing a Nigerian has done, even up to the present day, as to the tech guys and all the young guys, we're going to be focusing on the success story. There's so many things that are going to sports, you know, those are going to come up also. We're also going to be partnering with night concerts, which we're saying Nigeria for Nigeria, you know, because previously we engaged with the foreign satellite broadcaster, and you know, with capital flight and inflation, it was a challenge. That was one of the challenges. Now we're doing with Nigeria, and we know we're capping our cost, and we know what it's going to be for the next 5 years. So all those are the things we've reinvented. You're going to see a lot more, and what we want to do, unlike where, you know, we used to just keep it only to the free TV decoders, we're opening up the stream. That is a major, that's why, you know, we call it the big picture, the DSO, we call it the big picture. We're opening up the stream that with your handheld devices, you can access those channels. Or even if you're in your village or my village, you just put up a dish for free, and you receive, you know, from 60 to 100 channels all at once.
You know, interesting that you talk about that, because as much as you don't want to enumerate the various challenges, I know the major one was even the area of decoders. You know, these decoders came, the durability and then the accessibility to people. So with these reforms now that you have talked about, how are people going to access these decoders so that they can increase the eyeballs, more people will watch, so that in fact in the content and even the commercial aspect will give the desired eyeballs? Okay, so let me explain. I think there's something I need to explain at this point. Now, we're going from what we call free to view to free to air. Technical term, but what that does mean, free to view means you can only access it on an authorized box, which is the decoders you're saying. Free to air means you don't need a box right now. So if you have the box, you can have access to it. If you have other boxes that are not locked by software, you can also have access. If you have your phone, your laptop, or a TV that you can connect to satellite, so a satellite enabled TV, you can access it. We're opening it up to Nigerians to be able to have one access to a whole lot of channels strategically chosen, whether it has to do with news, entertainment, kiddies, all sorts of Nollywood, all that. We're putting everything open to Nigerians in the first instance. When we have created the market, a neighborhood of channels all in one place, then we will then put pay TV or you know, subscription based to make it a national holistic platform. Interesting, because I was going to ask DJ, what happens to those who have invested in these decoders? Will still be existing, right? Definitely. So let me we acknowledge and the fact that several individuals and companies made huge investments into it, inclusive of building, you know, production lines in different places in the country. We're not oblivious of their contribution. So what we're trying to do, you see, we're changing the DSO from a sort of equipment-based focus to a market and content-driven focus. Now, what we want to do is create the market first. And when the market is created, like I said, the channels we're building, all other pay TV, you will need those equipment that they're producing. So we're trying to build within, from a period of 18 months, you know, to 2 years, to build the market, and then they will be relevant because their equipment will be used for the DSO, you know, for access and all of that. So we're not, and you know, we're open as the NBC for them to engage with us. Even with the free system, there are other innovations I know with their capacity to produce and put into the ecosystem and keep them relevant while this is going on. Okay, you see, as much as it will benefit everybody, as a content creator, what would be the benefits? There is. So I will start from the standpoint of the PwC report 2023, I think, and their findings was to the fact that for every dollar you invest in the creatives, if it is well done right, you will get a return of $2.50. Wow. We're going all the way right now. You know,
we want to be able to structure the market that you can trail where the money is going. For example, one of the things I didn't mention, we are coming out with the audience measurements. You know, unlike the diary system we use presently today, we're going to have a scientific measurement similar to what you have in England. We're using a software from Bulgaria, which has been proven and tested, that you would be able to measure what the TV habits of people are in simple terms, where, you know, viewing habits, what the most watched channel, the most watched content, what time it is watched, who is watching, is it the old folks, is it the younger ones? We're going to put it and scale it up as we go, later even up to online viewership, so much so we can track where the spend is going. So you would have a scientific measurement as an advertising agency, the ratings, and people would then know, okay, this is the kind of content that has enduring view, and so they would spend money. You know, we're taking it to the global standard to be able to build. There's so much that needs to be done.
Best practices.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you know, DG, you have said so much.
Yes.
All of these things that you have enumerated, it's not going to be for peanuts. Where are you going to fund all of this?
Well, President Bola Tinubu,
a media-friendly president,
I am telling you, has been magnanimous as a media, you know, practitioner himself, has provided us some funding after we put forward all these ideas to be able to. So the money we would need, the revenue to pay for all these things I've said, has been provided, and we are going to make sure it goes in there and achieves the purpose. It's not just going to be a story once told, as it were, right? So we are ready, and we've started deploy. For example, I'll tell you, for Nigerians, I mean, consumption of media is going online. If we want to address the youth, it has to be that app which we're talking about. It's already it's already been tested as we speak. Right. So what we do, if we have created the access, which is the distribution, all we now need to focus on is the content strategy. That's what needs to be done. So it's a mix of a whole lot of things that we're putting together.
Well, see, I know you're also quite passionate about green media.
Definitely.
Yes. And now we're still having issues with power and all of that. We are talking about decoders and app reaching everybody. How are you going to sustain this using the green media, not the normal power supply that we know is still a little bit epileptic?
Okay, it's not just power. What about the equipment that is out of date and then has to be disposed, health issues, even while you're using them, you know, radiation of course, you know, and all of that. We're putting, you know, a focus on this also. So we're engaging with broadcasters, for example, to adopt sustainable and lower cost energy, which is more friendly to the equipment. So I'll tell you, put up a solar solution. It might look a bit cost effective at the onset, but you know, as you go along, I mean, this is Nigeria where we talk about band A, the massive revenue.
In fact, don't go there.
You need to run your equipment and the heavy demand, electricity demand of those. But if you, with modern equipment, a lot of broadcasters are getting equipment, and then with AI and machine learning, they have AI enabled machines that it can do what 10 people can do and huge machines can do. You bring it, you collapse it in, and then the energy consumption is, you know, is far reduced. And then you put on I was having a conversation with a solar provider yesterday, and he told me that if you put in their solutions, you have a solution where they can sustain a media broadcaster for 13 hours without connecting to the national grid. So they put up a solution where they put batteries, then they put a solar solution for you, and with, you know, that's what you need. Basically, so and it's eco-friendly, because I also asked the question, how long does your battery last? And he says for the next 15 years.
Wow.
You know,
interesting.
So on all ends, whether it has to do with equipment for editing, production, power supply, we're looking into all of those and trying to reduce cost and make it more friendly for the creative. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Mr. Charles Iwebu, any final words to Nigerians?
Well, I want to tell Nigerians not to give up. We've had a few misses, but we're getting there. Nigerians, we have this, we're resolute in our ways that we don't we don't want to even take
don't
second
complain.
place. No, no. You know, if somebody has done it, we can do it better. You know, so I just say look out for what is the changes that are coming, key into it. And if you're in the creative world, I think there's
Right
no
time.
better time than this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Charles Iwebu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My
for
pleasure.
Obliging us.
Thank you.
That has been it. The Magnate, it has been today, and we have looked at the broadcast ecosystem as it concerns the National Broadcasting Commission. Do make it a date with us same time next week, when we shall bring you another very, very interesting topic with another professional. Remember, you can re-watch this program on our YouTube channel and also follow us on our socials. Until then, bye for now.